This sway bar link is acting more like a joystick than a sway bar link.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Drive Chris Capredoni, your source for automotive reviews, analysis, maintenance, and restorations. Please subscribe to our channel, watch the entire video, watch our other videos, and of course click on notifications to be first to learn about new videos. I'm Chris Capredoni, and in this how-to DIY tutorial, I will explain and demonstrate sway bar link replacement on a Buick Encore. If you experience front end clunking or clicking sounds, it could possibly be a worn out or damaged sway bar link. Sway bar links have two small ball joints that over time wear out and do not provide adequate stability. This procedure is very similar in other domestic and foreign vehicles, and even electric vehicles have a similar sway bar link setup. Let's get over to the Encore and get started. Hi everyone, so it's come time for me to change the sway bar on this Buick Encore, which the procedure is very similar across other GM and other makes and models, whether domestic or European or Japanese. This is what a tie rod looks like. So it's basically a rod that connects two parts of the sway bar to the strut. And there are two ball joints, one here, that wear out. And what happens is when you're driving, you feel a clunky or sloppy sound. And that's because the ball joints have worn out and they have no more resistance. This one is very difficult to move, whereas the one I'm replacing, you can move it like a joystick. I picked this one here, which is a steel one. You can get aluminum ones, but the weight difference isn't that much. And the reason I selected this one is because it has two important things that I like. It has grease nipples, so from time to time, probably annually, I can grease the ball joint and keep it lubricated and extend the life of this part. It's made by Moog. I got it from Rock Auto. They're very inexpensive. So what I'm gonna do is secure and lift the car, take the wheel off, and then we'll get started with removing the old one and then installing the new one. And I'll show you all the tools you need and the little tricks in order to make the job that much easier. So I've properly lifted and secured the vehicle with a wheel chock and removed the wheel. Now here is the old tie rod, or sorry, sway bar link. And at the top, it's got an 18mm nut and a Torx T40 center. You'll need to use both in order to loosen it. And then the one at the bottom, I haven't looked at it, but I'm assuming it's the same, but I'll take a look. What I'm gonna do is loosen both of them, remove the nuts, but I'm not gonna remove the actual sway bar link because I need to compress the strut, the spring, the coil, the spring, in order to properly remove it. So I'll get an open box wrench for the 18mm nut and then my Torx T40 bit, and I'll loosen them. So what's done here is you use the Torx bit, the T40, inside inside the thread to hold it while you use the open box wrench to loosen the nut, and you just keep going until it comes off. Or you can do it in reverse, but this way is much easier. For the bottom nut, it's the same 18mm nut and Torx T40 center. The way I set it up is you put the open box wrench on the nut, and then you can use the hole in the lower control arm to put your other ratchet that is attached to the T40 bolt, and then hold it with your right hand while you apply pressure to break the torque on the nut. This one's a little stiff, so I may have to apply a little bit of convincing to it, but I'll work on it until I've also lubricated it. I'll work on it until I actually loosen the nut. So in order to break the torque, I changed the position of the open box wrench from above to below, and I was able to lift up and break the torque on that nut quite easily while holding the Torx T40 static. So don't do it from above, do it from below, where you can put in even an extender on your open box wrench, because they sell those. I'm actually going to get one where you can use additional leverage to break that nut free. So it is loose now, so I'm just going to keep loosening it. This one is loose. I'm going to soon I'll take it off, and then I'm going to show you how you remove it, because you can see the angle on the thread is pointed downward. You will not be able to easily get it out. So I'll have to compress the strut in order to line it up so that I can slip it out. So here is a better view of what I was talking about with respect to the angle. The strut is putting pressure downward on that thread, so it will not come out. So I'm going to be using a floor jack, and the lifting point will be on the lower control arm where the ball joint is, and I'll be lifting up just enough to straighten this out and then slip it out, and then I'll remove the loose nut here, and this will slide out. Then in reverse, I'll show you what to do in order to install the new one. I've lined up my floor jack to be below the ball joint on the lower control arm, and it's all set up. I haven't lifted yet. Be very careful not to come into contact with the dust shield, because you will damage it and then it'll have to be replaced. So what I'm going to do now is set up the camera on the tripod so that I can show you me lifting or compressing the strut in order to provide a little bit of relief on that thread so that it can slip out. Okay, I'm going to start compressing it. There. Now it should just slip out, and there we go. Now I'm going to drop the floor jack again. I'll redo it again when I want to install the new one. The replacement part is a little different in the sense that there is no Torx that's required on the center, which I find to be smart. What they've done now is they still have the same 18mm bolt, which I'll use a socket for. But then over here, they have this squared off nut, fixed nut, which is also 18mm. And what I'll do is I'll secure it using the open box wrench, and I'll be able to tighten and torque in that fashion. Both of them are like that. So I'm going to get set up to install the bottom part first, because there's no pressure there. And then I'll do what I did to take out the old one, where I'll be compressing the strut so that I can fit in the thread at the top. Okay, again, I've compressed it in the exact same spot. And you can see here now that I stopped just where it lines up. So all I have to do is just push it in, and then I'll apply the nut, and then hold the other nut from behind so that I can torque it. And the torques on this is somewhere between 35 and 40 pound-feet for both of them. So the next step is I'll put the nut on, and I think I did on that. Yeah, I have the nut loose on this one as well, and just start hand tighten them so they're hand tight. Here I am just tightening it. This design is far superior. It's so easy to hold the nut from behind with the open box wrench, and then just use my ratchet to tighten, and then it just slips out. So I'll do the same with the bottom, and then I'll torque them, and then relieve the pressure on the strut, because I want to be able to torque them while it's compressed properly. And then that's pretty much it for the job. I'll show you the completed job once I'm done. Okay, here I am. I'm going to torque the top bolt, or top nut, sorry. And there we are. And the bottom one's already been torqued. So the last step would be, it comes pre-lubricated, but from time to time, I'm going to take off the grease nipples and then use my grease gun to grease them, which they're very accessible, both of them. So now the next step is to release the pressure on the spring, which I'll do right now. So that's it. It's been replaced. The next thing to do is to put the wheel back on, lower it, torque it. These lug nuts are torqued to 100 pound-feet, and the job is done. You can do the other side as well. This one doesn't need it yet, but I will be doing it soon. Thanks very much for watching. Thanks for watching this comprehensive DIY tutorial on replacing a front sway bar link on a Buick Encore with a 1.4 liter turbo 4-cylinder Ecotec gasoline engine. This procedure is common among many other ICE and electric vehicles, both domestic and foreign. Please ensure to properly secure the vehicle with wheel chocks when performing this procedure. Wear proper eye protection when working around or under the vehicle. All tools to perform this procedure are basic tools. Please subscribe to our channel, Drive Chris Capredoni, and watch our other informative videos as your source for vehicle reviews, analysis, maintenance, and restorations.